Hi, welcome to Essential Bollywood Vocabulary. This is Ram Kumar, and we are now in General Urdu Words, session number 6. So, here we are going to cover a few more words on Bollywood vocabulary. The first word we are going to cover is Khush Mizaz, which means somebody who is of a happy disposition, or somebody who is hasmukh is the Hindi equivalent. Somebody who is of a pleasant disposition, or a good vibe. That's actually means khush mizaj. So khush mizaj raho. It's a good blessing. Be happy or be happy oriented. Then we come to the word called itrana. Itrana actually means to show off or to take pride in one's own self, and it is equivalent to the Hindi command. And everybody has some itrana here and there, some show off here and there about something, about their looks, their age, their position in society, their birth, their achievements. So whenever you talk highly about yourself, you aggrandize yourself. That is basically itrana, and it's a feminine quality as they show it, but not. Uh, I don't think that's true anymore. So everybody does a little bit of itrana or command, or in Hindi they will say akarna. That is also called itrana. And then we come to the word rahat. Rahat actually means relief. So whenever there is rain or fire or snow or some natural calamity, then the people or the lok or the janta ask for rahat or relief, or in Hindi it is chain from the ruler or the hukumat, who may be also called a government or government or sarkar. So rahat actually means relief. You can call it subsidy. So everything is grouped under the word rahat. So to give some kind of subsidy in something, that's rahat. Then we come to the word the gola barud. So gola barud is basically gunpowder. There is no equivalent in Hindi. It is all under a generic word called shastra, right? So, but generally gola barud was not invented. There is no precedent for that. So it's called gola barud, cannonballs. Uh, so fire, gunpowder. So that's gola barud. Then we come to a word called okad or haysiyat, or if a position of a person, whether it be in his profession or in a society, or his standing, so to speak, his or her standing, so to speak. And in Hindi, that's called a star, and in English, it's called a level. So typically, people are conscious. Depends on different cultures, societies, nations, what they consider as a level and what you consider as a level. So everybody is urged to be conscious of their okad or hesiyat or the star or their level or their position in society, when they speak, or the standing in society when they speak. Then we come to the word bazaru. It's actually a good word, right? It's actually means something that's common, commonly available. It's not special. So if something is bazaru, means I can buy it in the market. Can be used as an insult if you are an elitist person, that this is bazaru. Like, I can buy this in the market, but no, you are special. So some things in you are special, that is not bazaru, and other things are just bazaru, right? Even the word bazaar is actually an Urdu word, right? Bazaar means market, right? Or I think agora or something in Greece. I don't know what it is called. So that's bazaar, right? Bazaru, right? So some people pride themselves of not being bazaru, and some people just are bazaru. So that's a common means something that's available in the market. And then we come to the word lafda. Lafda actually means an affair. Not sure whether it's Urdu or a slang. It looks lafda, so it looks slightly, it rolls off the tongue like a Urdu word. So it's a jhanjat or an affair you get into. So lafdebaz is a person who is prone to getting into affairs, and there's a lafdebaz. And lafdebazi is a search for getting into more and more affairs, generally with the opposite gender, and generally of a romantic kind. So that's the lafda. However, it can be used, in many different contexts. You can get into other lafdas, right? So not just a lafda with the opposite gender, or lafda in terms of love. We can get into other lafdas. Then we come into the word kamyab, a very good word, uh, probably a very important word, which actually means vijayata, or in Hindi, and successful. So kamyab, oh, is a good blessing, or as we say, good dua. So calling kamyabi is be successful. Then we come to the word the word talab. Talab is the word for the pond in English, and I guess it means tal in Hindi or some dialect of Hindi. So tal or talab or pond is where the water is stored. That's the talab. Then we come to the word talash. In Hindi, talash means khoj, and in English it means search. So it's commonly used in a lot of movies to make kya kiski talash hai. So what are you looking for? What are you searching for? And there's even a movie called Talash. Talash is the meaning of the word, uh, you know, uh, 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 search. Then we come to the word khush kismati. Khush kismati is to be lucky, to be blessed, to have a khush naseeb, or to have this is all it is all khush kismati, of a good fortune, and bad kismati is unlucky or of a bad fortune. I think the slang is called panoti, or an unfortunate person. That is, I think there's also a movie. I don't know whether these words are used in civilized context, but khush kismati and bad kismati are often used. If somebody want to explain away your uh, success or failure, you can say I am khush kismat if you are successful due to luck, or you feel you are successful due to luck, or you can say you are bad kismat when you feel unsuccessful due to luck. So khush kismat and bad kismat. And we come to the word kafir. Yeah, today all these fights around the world. So kafir is basically a disbeliever. But does it mean disbeliever? No, it actually doesn't mean disbeliever. It means a person who is non-Abrahamic. That's all it means. It just means a non-Abrahamic person, right? So that's called kafir. So a person who doesn't believe in Abrahamic things, that's called kafir. Same way in Hindi, Nastik doesn't mean actually disbeliever in God. It actually means disbeliever in that scripture, the Vedas or so on. So these things are nothing to do with the belief in God, and I mean these things are nothing to do with that kind of belief. They are very small words, but they are now used in a more general sense. And then we go into the word bazu. Bazu actually means an arm, right? So that's the word bazu. That actually means an arm or hath. And then we go to the word khoon. Khoon is the word blood in English, and the word rakt in Hindi. So that's the word khoon, a very important word, especially in the Indian context. Very important. Khooni is a murderer. So khoon is khoon bari mang, right? Khoon ka dalal. So I mean the trader of blood. That's what a very favorite jab at one of the people in India, right? Khoon ke dalal, a trader. Dalal means a trader. So khoon no dalal, the trader of blood. So khoon is really a very sensitive subject in circles of Asia. So that's the khoon. That's rakt or blood. Then we come to the word mujra. Mujra means dance. Those days it was danced, so it was dance, and in Hindi we will call it natya. There were a lot of people. Mujre wali is a dancer. Today we call them dancer. Those days they used to call them mujre wali, a person who can do the mujra. I think it's still common. Maybe the classical people are there. It occurs in some historical movies that are coming forth. We see some mujras, but those days it was one of the best top dance forms. So it's not in Hindi, right? And then there is a nafrat. Again, nafrat means hatred, or somebody who is having gussa on you, somebody who is anger on you. That is called, somebody who has got anger on you. That is called nafrat. Or krodh is the Hindi equivalent. So that is nafrat. It's also a very common word. So be sure that your pyar, if it is unrequited, doesn't become nafrat or hate, right? Then we go to the word bakshish, or the word tofa. So bakshish or tofa, both in Hindi they mean bhet. Then bhet is actually, it means gift. So that actually means gift, and that's the tofa. And then we come to the word chot. Chot ponchi means to hurt somebody, whether it be their physical body or it hurt their emotions. Chot actually means ghav, and that actually means to impose some damage on somebody, and chot in Hindi means ghav. So that's chot. Then there's the important concept of tashwif lana, to bring yourself in, which actually means to sit. In pure Hindi, you can say virajman ho. I mean, you wouldn't say it in a normal way, but virajman means to sit down, right, or to occupy a place. So tashwif lana is to sit, baitna, or virajman hona. That is the word tashwif. Then we go to the word bekar. Bekar is a useless or a vyarth. So bekar is somebody without anything to do. Vyarth, useless person is called. Not a useless thing is called bekar. So people don't want to be bekar, right? They want to be occupied or engaged. That's how people are, right? We covered the word nafrat. We said it is gussa and also krodh. So these words are used in a negative context. So then we go to the word ruswai. Ruswai is basically insult, or in Hindi it becomes apman. So किसी की रुसवाई करना means to insult him. You may have access to his private information or something like that, and you explain and you splash it all across in the newspapers. So that person is now in ruswai. So that is actually a public shaming kind of a word. Right? Public shaming, yes. Not Yeah, it's close to apman, but very close to public shaming, right? So that is ruswai. And then we come to the word kisht. Kisht is basically our modern day EMI, equated monthly installment. So that's EMI, and you can call it in very colloquial Hindi as bhada or rent. How much bhada you are paying, kisht you are paying, or EMI you are paying. That's called kisht. Then you come to the word nivala. Nivala is the means of a man's or family's subsistence, on what they subsist. In Hindi, you can call it anaj, with the understanding. Anaj actually means grains, or cereals, grain cereals, right? Closely related to the Tamil soul, like very poor people, they subsist on very meager things like anaj, right? So that's nivala. There's a song Bala 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 I just heard, right? Garibon ke muh se chinu mein nivala. That is the mere. I even take away the means of subsistence of the poor people. And especially, there was a comedy, reincarnation comedy, right? So, so that's the way they are making fun of the king. So that's fine. So the reincarnation comedy. So in the Garimo ke muh se chinu mein nivala is to take away even their means of subsistence. So nivala is the basic bare minimum you have, right? Then we come to the word fatwa. I mean, today it's all fatwa here. Fatwa, that means a memo. You be in any government office, they send you memos. So these people issue fatwas. Some people believe in these people, the mullahs or priests. Some people believe in them, some people do not. You can call that adesh in Hindi. I don't know how much people take care to understand all that. So they're generally not used in any Bollywood movie. I'm just adding it because I added the word kafir. So kafir and fatwa, I'm just adding it. And then there's the word khayal. Khayal is soch or thinking. So that is khayal is soch or thinking. That's why I'm adding khayal. And khayalat is basically soch vichar, or the English ideology, or we also use that Urdu word nazariya, right? Nazariya, khayalat are the same thing, right? So in a set of thoughts or set of beliefs or set of thought patterns you have in your head. So you say to a person, "अपने ख्यालात बदलने चाहिए." That's a very common thing. Change your ख्यालात, और दुनिया के साथ साथ चलना सीखो, or learn to walk along with the world, right? So that's something I think is an advice not given to young people, right? The young people are defining the world, and the old people or the older generation is just in their own space. So they are often admonished with saying, "Dunya ke saath chalna seekho," learn to walk along with the world, right? So dunya means the world, and dunyadari is actually a worldly person, or to be of the matters of the world, right? So that's a person who deals with the matters of the world. Not everybody is a dunyadar. You see a lot of people, right? We saw even Bazigars, right? So anyway, so that's all interrelated. So dunya ke saath saath chalna means to walk along or to keep pace with the world, which becomes increasingly difficult for the as you grow as you grow older. Anyway, so this is Ram Kumar signing off from Essential Bollywood Vocabulary. I hope you had a nice time. I will see you again. Thank you in the next episode.